All right, folks, welcome to another segment. I'm Cy, and we have Dr. Ford over there in this segment. Okay, in this segment, we're going to talk about how the Republicans want to talk about desegregating this country. It was never desegregated. It was just all of the illusion anyway. But some people believe it. Yeah, a few people did integrate. A few people did integrate a few people. Okay, it's been 70 years since Brown versus the Board of Education. Okay, and the good doctor knows about this because it happened in the state he grew up in.
Right.
Okay, Arkansas. I think that was the first state to really integrate and put it all on the news. And matter of fact, it was so big, you got the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. You ever heard of him, folks? The owner of the Dallas Cowboys, his name is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones wasn't even down for segregation. There's pictures of him sitting there go, no, 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 no. We don't want to segregate. But yeah, he's still on the Dallas Cowboys because that's America, folks. President Trump and his administration want to dismantle everything about this country, even though a lot of these things didn't work. You know why it didn't work? Because it wasn't really about us. It wasn't about us. If you took affirmative action, one of the biggest mistakes the civil rights leaders made, the black civil rights leaders made, this is one of the biggest mistakes they made. They allowed black people, they did all the fighting. Black people did all the fighting, folks. And the civil rights leaders, they made a crucial mistake. They allow black people to be lumped in this bigger group called minority. And this is the failure of the civil rights movement. Of all the great things that it accomplished, the one failure that it did, it allowed black people to be lumped into this bigger group called minority. And what this did was people could still be racist and still meet their quotas. Okay, if my quota to give out business loans, minority business loans to computers, I don't care. I don't have to give it to a black person. I'll give it to a white person from South Africa. I'll give it to my daughter. If I'm a white man, I can give my daughter a business loan. So all this stuff about trying to turn back all these things like affirmative action and segregation and all that, that's the reason why it never worked, folks, because we allowed ourselves to be in it. That's why you see so many minorities coming over here and all these other ethnic groups, and they trying to criticize black people, the ones coming from Haiti, Africa, Jamaica. They want to criticize us FBA black people. And what they don't understand is these people got game. They're giving you the loans that our people fought for. You go through any community, the reason why we don't own the 7-Elevens, because it's not because those people work harder than us. It's not because we don't stick together. It's because the bankers gave the loans to those other minorities. And if you don't understand that, kiss my black ass, okay? Tired of playing with you people who don't understand what this man is doing. And I didn't mean to get all hype on y'all. You understand what I'm saying, the good Dr. Ford?
Absolutely. What the Republicans are suggesting, and which Trump has begun to do, is to end desegregation. Desegregation started about 7 years ago. You mentioned Brown versus Board of Education when I went to all black schools. But when Brown passed, we had to put everybody together, go to one school, go to school with white people. They had the better schools. But Trump now is trying to end that. But the government, I think, had a good idea of this, trying to bring the country together, white and black people. It didn't work, never worked. But they made an effort. And so in 65, I went to a integrated school. But let me say, what Trump is doing now, he's trying to resegregate America. And that's the whole purpose of this desegregation. Republicans, white people, I would say a majority of white people, they don't want to go to school with black people because you see what has happened with the desegregation. It did not work. So that's the whole issue. White folks do not go to school with black and brown people. White people want to go to school with white people. And now, even right now, in 2025, American schools are more segregated in 2025 than they were in 1950. So which means white people protested. They didn't want to go to school with black and brown people. So that's what we have now. And now it hasn't worked. So the Republicans saying, well, we want to push through those. They enacted different rules, regulations. So we try to force white people to accept black and brown children in their schools, and white folk didn't do it. They protested. So Trump said, now we're going to take all that away. We take all those rules and regulations away, and we don't have to do no desegregation anymore.
I know, and that's sad. And like I said, one of the main reasons why it didn't work is because they didn't want it to work. They knew they was going to be putting black gangs. They knew they was going to put drugs in our communities. They knew they was controlling the gangs, the mafia, the punk-ass mafia who control the gangbangers. All these people was working against the black community. The mafia put the drugs in the black community back in the 70s. And now they're making these TV shows to make you think those black gangsters is working side by side with the mafia. No, they wasn't never working side by side. Those mafia dudes control the black gangsters, period. And that's why drugs, crack, and all that stuff went into our communities. They was hitting us on every level, folks. That's why I tell you, it's very imperative to recognize these actions, these systematic erosions. Black educational rights. Even when they desegregated the schools, it was only some black and white people who went to school together. And the main reason, I'm gonna tell you the main reason why they want to desegregate. It's the same thing that Donald Trump is doing right now, folks. The main reason why they want to desegregate is because they want to bus people to different neighborhoods. It was a powerful rich man in the automobile industry that wanted desegregation. You know why he wanted desegregation? Because he had the contracts to build all the buses. People do not understand the trickery of the level of these people. It was the people from the automobile industry who wanted desegregation because they knew part of desegregation was going to be busing and shipping people to different schools across country so they can build more buses to make more billionaires. Do you guys understand that? See, they don't put their game past me, folks. I put it to you where you go like, damn, I never thought of it like that, but that makes sense. I know. You can feel it. I know it makes sense to you. But that's how it works, because that's what Donald Trump is doing even right now. He's making policies to make his friends rich. So if he want to go to war, who you think gonna get the contract to make the bullets? The guns. One of his friends. They've been running game. So this was never about segregation or desegregation. It was really about making money, okay? And on another level, let's get it, since we are going down this conspiracy road, they knew it would erode our communities to the point where we would be in a position to not support the businesses in the black community, okay? There's a thing what they call, when they take out all the brain power. I can't think of the name of it. I'll put it on there. But you know, brain drain. It's called brain drain. And this is what happened to the black community. They start taking all the educated black people out slowly. Oh, okay, 1 or 2 black families can live over here, 1 or 2 black families. And once they got done with brain drain, that's when they started slipping in all the drugs and the gangs in, because the smart black people that would have been there to recognize gang was all living in white communities. They knew what they were doing, folks. This was the biggest Ponzi scheme, whatever kind of scheme you want to call it, folks. So their segregation, it's like the good doctors say, these white people, it's not just today they don't want to go to school with us. They have never wanted to go to school with us, especially, and you know what they did? This was sad. The white people with the money never went to school with us. They brought poor white people and black together. And that's why you see Jerry Jones was fighting it, because he used to be poor or working class. Okay, so it was about money, making the automobile industry rich. Do you know how many schools was made? And you know who else wanted it too? Who controlled the oils? Because you know how much money from the time we started busing kids from all over the country. I used to have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go. I would go past a high school that was in my neighborhood to go to a school across town for what? Black smoke all in our faces, all these big ass yellow buses, for what? To make people rich. Because even the people in the gasoline industry got rich with that diesel fuel. These are the people promoting all this before, and you don't even see the game. These people don't care about us or America. They have so much hatred in their heart, and they've been able to hide behind profit. Okay, you understand what I'm saying, the good doctor. I didn't mean to go on like
Absolutely, absolutely. So as I said too, desegregation never worked, and it never worked. Even in companies where you try to DEI try to bring black people in and qualified black people always been qualified, and usually those positions, black people were overly qualified. Even affirmative action, they weren't underqualified. Black people were overqualified. It's just like comparing Barack Obama education and the education of Donald Trump. It's a joke there. Because Donald Trump said he graduated top of his class at the University of Pennsylvania. You go in the internet and they look at all the people who graduated top of the class, and Trump's name was not among them. So that's where we are now in terms of desegregation. I see it resegregation of America. And I think a majority of the white people want that. A majority of white people, they are really upset. And one of the major reasons for Trump won the election was demographics. The demographics are changing in America. And white people are afraid of that. White people looking for a haven where they can only be with white people. White people feel uncomfortable being a minority. So that's the whole just why Trump is negotiating and moving all these people around and writing all these executive orders and everything, bringing in the South Africans and pushing out the people of color. But that's the reason. It's about demographics, and white people have a demographic fear. But not only that, white people are afraid that if people of color become a majority and white people a minority, then the majority of brown and black people would treat white people like white people treated brown and black people. So that's the greatest fear of white people, that those people would seek retribution.
folks. Trust me, I don't care how many news articles we got. Oh, so-and-so's the power right now. These gray people do not play. They have always been on the offense. They don't never be on the defense because they learned from history when they came out the caves to always be on offense, to always initiate everything. As soon as they came out them caves, they said, we're going to always be on offense. This is not a government oversight. He want to roll back everything. If you notice, the man ain't even been in office a good 130, 150 days.
Right.
He's showing no shame. Right. Do y'all hear me, folks? Think about what he did when he came in. He want to desegregate, he want to do this, even though this stuff never worked, like we just said. It was never about that. The man came in and got rid of all the black. Once he got rid of that black general and put in a less qualified white man,
right.
That told me everything I needed to know about this man. Everything. Because why would you put a less qualified man in a position that is going to end up being very important to you? That tells you he is not hiding his racial agenda. And like the good doctor always say, the man daddy was in the Ku Klux Klan. Well, I don't know if he was there officially because I wasn't there, but there's some pictures of him hanging out with the Klan. Okay, folks? And so, anyway, and that's it for this week. Until next week, we're going to be back at you guys. All right, take care now.
Good night.